Hey everybody, Playtendo Guy here, and I'm back with a brand new video. And today I'm going to be talking to you about my latest video game pickup of Switch titles. This includes a load of titles that I picked up in sales and got for Christmas. There's quite a few titles to get through here, as well as a Japanese import as well. So there's a lot to get through, a lot to talk about, so that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things, and let's get into it. So, greetings and salutations, everybody. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe, and thank you for joining me for another video. As I said in the intro, it's a video game haul today where I'll show you all the video games that I picked up, well, all the Switch games that I picked up over the past couple of weeks and the ones that I got for Christmas. There's a lot of titles to get through, so that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things and talk about the first title I have here, and it's a Japanese import and it's Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Ghost Trick is a fantastic game that came out on the DS in 2011, I think, or 2010, and it was created by the guy behind the Ace Attorney series. It's a very creative puzzle story mystery game about a this chap here who is dead, and he's trying to find out who killed him, and you play as his spirit as he possesses all different manner of inane items to try and save other people's life and find out who killed him. It's told in such a quirky style with a wonderful art style and such style and pizzazz that you rarely do ever see this in video games today. It's a shame that the game never got a sequel, but it did get this HD remake that came out last year. Unfortunately, over here it's digital only, and for me, digital only does not work for me. So Japan actually had a physical copy, and somebody was selling this on eBay brand new and sold for about 25 quid, which is the price of it digitally. And it has got the English subtitles on here as well, which is great to see. And I've been playing for it quite a bit, and it's a wonderful trip down memory lane. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is such a blast, and if you like narrative driven story games, this is well worth a go, and also puzzle games. Next up is a game that I've been wanting to get for a little while. It came out in 2023, but it actually did went on sale just before Christmas. And I'm a big fan of this series, and that's Dragon Quest with Dragon Quest Monsters the Dark Prince, or aka Dragon Quest Monsters 3. Never played the Dragon Quest Monsters sub series, but I did play Builders, which is a fun little series. But this one is a lot of fun. This is kind of Dragon Quest Monsters mixed with Pokemon, where you can train the monsters and have them fight by your side. It's a really nice looking game. It is certainly pushing the Switch a little bit too much. I noticed some of the resolution is a bit bad, some of the textures are, but it is quite an ambitious game for the Switch, and it does run better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's a really fun game with the same Dragon Quest charm and style as you always expect. Looking forward to playing more of this one, and this was only 20 quid from game, and it's normally 50 quid. So if you're on the lookout for this one, be sure to check your local game. Hopefully it'll still be on offer for that price. And game actually had another deal. This game was also 20 quid, and it's normally like 40 or 50. And it's a remake of two classic GameCube games that I'd never really heard much about until this remake remaster was announced. And that's Baton Kaitos 1 and 2. Played a little bit of the first one, and you definitely can tell it's quite an old game, but it has a lot of style to it. It's a card based RPG, and one of them is like the second one is a prequel, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't played that one yet. Played a bit of the first one, really like what I'm playing, and there's all manner of quality of life improvements. It's not the best remaster I've seen, but it's great to see that these two classic GameCube games are available physically on Switch now, and it also saves you having to pay inflated pre-owned prices for the GameCube versions. And also it saves games being lost to time. Talking about games being lost to time, here's another double pack of two old games that came out on the Wii. And that's My Sims Cozy Bundle. Yeah, this was announced, and this was quite a nice sort of surprise to see this being announced. The My Sim games were kiddified versions of the Sim games that came out on the Wii and the DS during 2007 and kind of ended around the 2010 mark because EA just milked the series to death. Never played any of them, always wanted to, and when this was announced, I thought, yeah, alright, and I'll give it a shot. This was going around about 35 quid, but Asda had it for 25 quid, and at the time when I got it, Asda was doing like a like a spin to win thing. Like every time you shop at Asda, you'd get a little spin to get money on your Advantage card, and I had 20 quid on it. So this only cost £4, £5. So yeah, played a bit of the first game. It does feel very much like Animal Crossing, just like a little bit lighter. It's fun, charming, runs very well. It's to be expected because it is a Wii game. Both games seem to run at 60 FPS and have pretty decent controls. As the title says, it's a very cozy, very laid back sort of game. So if you're an Animal Crossing fan and looking for something similar, or even Stardew Valley fan, probably worth giving. Here's some of the games that I got for Christmas, and this one I have been playing quite a bit. I've heard about this game quite a bit, but never really thought about picking it up, and then I got it for Christmas, and my word, it's a blast. Cult of the Lamb, love it. It's an action RPG roguelike with a bit of like life sim sort of stuff involved with it, like building your own flock for your cult. It's a really fun, stylish game with a great sort of animated art style. The action is fast, fun, and fluid. Kind of feels like a little bit like Hades, but a little bit lighter. And then when you've done all your action stuff, you go back to your flock and you try and build the best sort of haven you can for them. And you can get into all sorts of things that your cult do, like do ceremonies and all sorts of stuff. It's got a lot of charm to it, a lot of charisma, a lot of good humor to it. It's a really fun game, and again, kind of proves that the indie scene and the double A scene is where the creativity is for video games at the moment. Triple A seems to have lost its way. Thank God for thank fuck for indies. That's all I gotta say. Next up is a game that I heard about was coming out, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. And that is the Halloween versus Ash versus Evil Dead Retro Realms double feature, created by WayForward, who are 2D platformer maestros. It's a fun sort of retro trip with both Michael Myers and Ash. Both have their own separate games. It's got quite a lot of style to it, some fun puzzle solving mechanics to it, and does kind of have quite a sharp difficulty spike later on in it. The games aren't very long, unfortunately, only probably about 2 hours each. But there is some replayability here for like score chasers getting collectibles, and you can also play as alternative characters. You also have Laurie Strode here and somebody else from Ash vs Evil Dead. There's also like a museum mode where you can use in-game currency that you earn to buy like sort of trinkets from the Halloween and Ash vs Evil Dead franchises, which is pretty cool. And with this physical edition, you also do get a pack of Halloween cards as well. There is like a big limited edition one which comes with a cuddly Michael Myers, if that's your thing. But yeah, you get some cool little art cards here, and like all on the back, you do get some like blurb written about the characters as well. It's a fun little game. It's currently on sale for about 30 quid on Amazon on both PS5 and Switch and Xbox, and it's not too bad for the price. I don't think it's worth anything more than probably 30 quid. I think like the 50 quid they were charging for is ridiculous. But if you get it for £30 or under, it's a fun little time, and obviously if you're a Halloween fan, like I know a lot of you guys are, then it's a fun little Halloween game. Next up is a game that I picked up recently. I heard about it through like various Game of the Years lists. Never really paid much attention to it, but it got Game of the Year, Switch Game of the Year for Nintendo Life, so I decided to pick it up and give it a shot. And that was Atlus's Unicorn Overlord. From the title Unicorn Overlord, you'd think it'd be something different, but no. This is like a Fire Emblem-like adventure strategy RPG with gorgeous visuals and a pretty cool little story. I've only played about an hour of it so far, but I'm having a good time with it. It's a unique strategy RPG, and it plays a little bit differently to Fire Emblem, but I'm liking what I'm playing so far and cannot wait to see where it goes from there. So that's Unicorn Overlord. Picked that up from the game collection. Popped into Smipes and picked up this a few weeks ago, and this went down to about 15 quid. Don't really know too much about it, but I gave it a shot, and it's like a puzzle game, and it's called A Little to the Left. It's various sort of household objects being turned into like small little Professor Layton style brain teasers. It is essentially just a phone game or a game that was on Steam, and it's ported to Switch quite well, though I do think like the controls are a little bit iffy whether you use the Joy-Con or the touchscreen. But it's a fun little collection of brain teasers. You have 160 levels here, plus I think about 60 or 80 extra with the DLC that comes with it. This physical edition also includes like a load of stickers that you can actually stick on the back to make an alternative cover. But it's a fun little game. I wouldn't say it's worth like paying like 30 quid for, but if you can pick it up for 15 quid, it's worth a shot. It's one of those sort of underrated little games, and I do think it's like only about £5 on the eShop. So if you're not too fussed about physical edition, then check out the eShop version. Next up, I also got this for Christmas. I know this did come out about a year or two ago, and it was like a ridiculous £100 box set from Square Enix, and no way, no way. But they actually did do a normal edition for it this year, and that's the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters 1 to 6 collection, including, as you can guess it, Final Fantasy 1 to 6, all remastered for the Switch. It also came available for the PS4, but Switch was the best place to play this, in my opinion. These were Nintendo games after all. So yeah, you get more here, all remastered with all new quality of life improvements, new graphical style, but the heart and core of the games still remain. And so for 6 games, and this was about 50 quid if I'm not mistaken, going around for 50 quid, it wasn't too bad. I do think the digital version of this going for like 70 quid was way too much, but I noticed that you can pick it up even cheaper now for about 30 to 40 quid. And if you're a Final Fantasy fan, or just a video game fan, it's an interesting tip. It's an interesting trip into video game history and see where this series first gained popularity. Certainly changed a lot from like Final Fantasy 16, but that is the Final Fantasy Pixel Collection remasters. You also do get some stickers as well. Also, good thing is all the games are actually on the cartridge, which can be a bone of contention. Sometimes the only part games are on the cartridge, but that's good to hear that they all are. Next up is a game that I know a lot of people really did like when it came out in 2023, but I really didn't have no interest in it. But the more I saw of it, I was like, you know what, this could be quite fun. So I got Dave the Diver. It's a blast. I'm really surprised about this. I'm not really into like aquatic stuff or anything to do with swimming or fishes or anything, but I thought this isn't going to be fun. But this is a blast. It has a perfect one more go sort of attitude to it. The gameplay is split into 2 different parts. In the daytime, you go swimming through the sea looking for creatures, fish to get, and like collectibles to nab to build up money to upgrade Dave so he can dive deeper and collect more fish and all sorts of stuff. In the night time, you then work at a sushi bar where you use all the like fish that you earned to turn it into sushi, and then you just play a fun sort of game of diner dash, and it works really well. The game is chock a block full of humor, style, some really fun little animated anime inspired cutscenes. It's a game that's very funny, very charming, also quite hard as well. It's a lot of fun, and apparently is getting a spin off or a sequel next year or this year. And there's also a couple of free DLC packs as well, including a Godzilla one, which I managed to pick up before it actually went off. And the final game of the haul is a remake of a game from yesteryear that I don't think actually got released over here in the UK originally, but it's Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I really do like these HD 2D games. The Octopath Traveler games, Live Alive, and Triangular Strategy, all were wonderful games, and I do think HD 2D is really charming and works really well. This is a really great little remake of a beloved classic, and it's a fun game that it's definitely antiquated compared to some RPGs, and I'm glad that it hasn't become too modern, that it's forgotten its identity. It looks wonderful. The Switch performance is a little bit sketchy, frame rate troubles all around, but hopefully when the new Switch comes out, the Switch 2 or whatever it is, it will also up the frame rate and restore a lot of technical issues with it. I mean, if it's the only way to play, it's a more than enough serviceable port. It's just some technical issues with the frame rate and load time's a little bit too long. But I much prefer to have this on the Switch than to have it on PlayStation 5. It's a great game. I'm about 10 hours into it at the moment and I'm loving every moment of it. Again, full of that Dragon Quest style and charm, that British voice acting. Of all the Japanese games, this is the only game series that I will have the English dub on because it just suits it so much. So yeah, that final game is Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake. So that's every game that I picked up and got for Christmas over the past month or two. So to recap, I got Dragon Quest 3 Remake, Dave the Diver, Final Fantasy 1 to 6, a little to the left, Unicorn Overlord, Halloween Retro Realms presents Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead, bit of a mouthful, Cult of the Lamb, My Sims Cozy Bundle, Baton Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remasters, Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince, and Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, the Japanese import. So anyway, that'll do it for today. Tell me what you think of these games that I picked up in the comments section down below. Have you played any of them? Interested in any of them? What have you picked up and been playing recently? Tell me all in the comments section down below. It'd be great to chat to you about all things games, all things films, all things physical media. So you stay safe, take care, and thank you again for watching. Really do appreciate it. And until next time, bye.